And welcome into whatever baseball and whatever that is. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is that the White Sox clinched the AL Central Edition episode? Maybe for the first part, but we'll just call this one episode 24. Episode 24, Yasmani Grandal, anyone? We'll go with that. But no, here we are for baseball. And of course, whatever. For whatever, we'll be covering movies that that impacted us, movies that we wish we could go back and experience for the first time once again, that had that impact on us, that we want to recapture, revisit, and just have one more time. If we could, we would give anything. I'm not giving away the White Sox Central Division win, though, so they can keep that. But so we will be getting into that. But first of all, if you didn't hear the news, which I'm sure you did, White Sox clinch. Tony La Russa is going to the postseason. It's official. They can't take it away. It's math right now. So there we go. It's awesome. Great day for Sox fans. We've sat through a lot of shitty seasons, so it's nice to have this reward, this thing that we can, get to the next step and hopefully make a nice run the postseason here. We'll see. But today was step one. We still got a little bit of a way to go. But with me today on the podcast, of course, is Justin.
Hello.
And Vinny. So I know we kind of changed up the
damn, Greg, if you start editing and producing the podcast, I'm going to be out of a job. I'm not even going to.
No, definitely not. I don't think I don't have those skills like you, Justin. But here we are all together again. Vinny's got his White Sox hat on. He's looking great. Justin has.
I have no Sox apparel. I'm sorry.
So he does. We don't expect him to. So
no,
that would actually be kind of weird.
I can appreciate their victory today for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But so I know we kind of switched roles up today. So as you know, we get to some correspondence here early on that I usually read, but maybe we'll change that up today. Maybe Justin or Vinny.
Sure, I can read it for you.
Yeah. But either way, like, share, subscribe, follow us at baseball and what on Twitter, baseball and whatever at gmail.com. And there's the Facebook and Instagram things, right?
Yeah. Stick with Facebook and Twitter. That's probably your best bet.
Facebook and Twitter. That's
email
the best
us.
way
Yeah.
We don't get that many emails anymore.
No, we get a couple.
Facebook and Twitter seems to.
That's the way to go.
Well.
But we're.
Either way, welcome into the show. This is going to be a fun one, maybe.
All right. Yeah. So as you can tell, Greg has done a complete 180 from last week's episode. We had angry playoff Greg, and now we have over the moon.
See, you get positive Greg. Yeah. Positive Greg right now. See, angry Greg may return. Angry boomer Greg. I think that's more of the thing that more of my image that I'm going for. I mean, he's more than likely to return for the postseason. I mean, we'll see. Especially
the second they go down like 2-0 in a series, he's coming back. Yeah.
But either way, by next week.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll get into the Sox later, but like I said, we want to get to our correspondence. While we're reversing our roles right here. So Justin, Vinny, take it away.
Here we go. So if you guys remember last week, we did our concert experiences that we really enjoyed. Mike wrote in telling us about his Green Day concert where he got kicked in the face from a leopard print or cheetah print Converse when they were in the mosh pit for Green Day. And then I think he said he threw his baseball cap on stage and Billy Joe Armstrong wore it for one of the songs. So I believe, Greg, you asked him to write in telling what song that was for. Yeah. He wrote in, he said, "Hey, y'all, unfortunately, I forgot what song Green Day was playing at the time, only that it was a song they added a breakdown to so Billy Joe could just play around with the crowd and rock out. Really enjoy your show, guys. You all have a great chemistry and keep the conversation flowing. Keep up the great work." So, Mike, thank you very much, man. Definitely appreciate it. Erica, my lovely wife, who I came home the other day and she had our podcast on YouTube, was just watching it. I wasn't even asking her to watch it. I was shocked. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her. Thank you.
Fan. So she said, "Vinny, I will give the boys a chance during my maternity leave." So, Vinny, there you go.
Thank you.
And then she said, It only took, 2 years at this point now, I think?
Gosh.
I think it was longer.
Maybe longer.
I just should have gotten on my knees and begged everybody to watch that.
Yeah. She would have enjoyed that a little too much, probably. She also said Eminem was her favorite concert she went to. She conveniently forgot that one, though, when she wrote in. She said the only thing that could have made it better is if we had closer seats. I believe that was at Comerica Park that they saw him.
Yep.
She said, in regards to the Blink-182 fiasco and story that I told last week about her wanting to fight kids, she said, and this was her exact quote, "I will always try to put punk little a-holes in their place. To be fair, we had perfect seats, basically the first row on the second balcony, and I'm not very tall, and those kids jumping around in front of me completely obstructed my view." So,
wait a minute. Hold on. Now they're jumping in front of you? I thought they were making out in front of you. There's no way they were jumping around and making out the same time. I don't think that's possible.
I don't know.
They were taking turns. They were taking turns. They were.
Oh, okay.
So there's a group of jumpers, and then
we had the jumpers, and then we had the maker outers.
Maker-outers.
Yeah, it was a fiasco.
The fornicators.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope not.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. And then lastly, we have our guy Jack Lugo on Twitter. I felt so bad. He wrote in his best concerts last week on Twitter, and I completely forgot to do a final check on our Twitter feed and copy his into the Google Doc. So I literally sent him a direct message on Twitter apologizing because I didn't want to offend him. I know he's one of our guys. So
yeah.
Jack said he saw Metallica with a symphony orchestra back in the early 2000s, which was pretty awesome. I can't even imagine. I'm not a big Metallica fan, but having them be backed up by an orchestra sounds amazing. He also said seeing Billy Joel and Elton John co-headline back in the mid-90s was also fun. He also saw the Rolling Stones back in 97 or 98, and they were all great shows. So
that's a pretty good finale.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I can't even imagine seeing all those guys.
I think Elton John and Billy Joel were in Madison it's good quite some time ago, but 5-6 years ago or something like that, I feel like.
Okay.
But I don't remember if they were actually touring, but that sounds familiar. Like they did that tour again together, which I didn't go see it, but it would have been awesome to see. I know at the time I was like, wow, that would be amazing to see.
Billy Joel's one of those singers that when I hear his name, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fan. And then I kind of occasionally hear some of his back catalog on the radio, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's not bad. You know what I mean? So
I'm like my dad.
Oh,
he does that. He tells me, "Oh, I don't like these guys. I don't like." I'm like, "What about this song?" "Oh yeah, I do like that song." I'm like, "Yeah, you do like these guys."
Oh, that reminds me too. I forgot to add in Vince, our father-in-law, Vinny's dad, also wrote in and said a martini in the shower is the way to go in reference to your bear in the shower.
Oh, shower beer. Yeah, shower martini.
And sorry, shower beer, not bear in the shower.
Yeah. Update to everybody listening. The shower beer went out 60-40 on Twitter, the poll. I'm not going to tell you how many people voted. It was a lot. I'm just going to say that 5 people. But Woo! Yeah, 60-40 shower beer won. So
I believe I voted for shower beers.
I voted
too.
No.
I know Justin did because he sent the
somebody voted with me. So that's the important thing. That's all that matters.
What was the other thing you could vote for?
There was a third option, right?
Yeah, I think the third option was I didn't know what a shower beer was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, there's our correspondence. I guess, Greg, you want to lead us into the White Sox talk? This is your time to shine, man.
Well, since you asked, Justin, I don't know if you've been paying attention or if you've been listening to the first 2 words of the podcast, but yes, today the White Sox clinched the AL Central. They are the first Major League Baseball team this year to clinch their division because their division sucks. But either way, we will take it. Beat up on the Indians. I think 7-2 was the final score. Yep. Guys, so the Sox are in. We knew it was going to happen. It's kind of nice that it's actually a thing now. Mm-hmm. But guys, what I'm really stoked about is that the fucking bats showed up today. There were bombs hit out of the park. I mean, TA going deep twice. Lou Bob with that 650-footer that landed far, far away. And Eloy, I mean, just bombs after bombs. I mean, the bats were hot, and that's what I've been pining for. You guys heard me last episode. I was like, You guys suck. And now, they show me something. So hopefully this is like the kick in the ass.
Do you know when Eloy's last home run was? before today?
It had to have been a while because he's been garbage.
You want to take a guess?
Are we thinking games? How many games ago, or
Just
the date?
How about date?
What's the date today?
It is the 23rd.
The 23rd. August 29th.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really okay. Wow. I honestly didn't know that was a complete guess.
And they won that game
13-1. Oh, okay. That was a complete
so they need
guess.
him going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
needs to get moving. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's hitting lower in the lineup right now. There's the whole, DH this, DH yay or nay. But today was a good start. And guys, now that the division is, locked up, this is the time to get healthy, physically healthy and mentally healthy. Take today, see what you did today, that fire, that burst, that power at the plate, scoring runs, and kind of take that the rest of the way. Let's finish this thing off, hot. Like that.
Yeah.
So I really, the way they played today, that first game was phenomenal. That's the White Sox I want to see right there, guys. So I'm not gonna bring up Kimbrel or any of that bullshit.
No, you don't want to talk about that?
No, I don't want no Cubs Kimbrel. I don't want to talk about that.
You just want to talk about the good stuff.
I want to talk about the good stuff. You guys can talk about the bad stuff. That you guys can do that if you like. But this is where I'm at. I'm trying to stay positive. I mean, today's look, White Sox fans. Here we go. Rick Hahn. We did the rebuild, and now this is like, I know last year we made the postseason, but that was just kind of like,
it was kind of
but it still counts.
Cubs made the postseason last year too.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is kind of like our step one, our first step, and there's a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still a lot that has to happen here, and there's a lot of improvements that you still want to see. There's a lot of questions that I think we'll have to answer now. I think Tony's going to really have to do some serious thinking, managing game plan here, which is what he does best, other than drinking. And we'll just ride this thing, and hopefully it takes us a long way. But Sox fans, congrats to you too. We've been waiting, and so far I'd say this thing is kind of where it's supposed to be, at least at this moment right now. So
it's looking good. Well, I wish you nothing but happiness, Greg. I hope this runs all the way until the beginning of November.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I'm not going to lie, though, as Vinnie and I exchanged in our text exchange today, if it doesn't, it's going to make for some great podcasts.
Yeah. So either way, you guys, I mean, I know you guys, well, I don't know where you are in the Sox, but I'm sure you wouldn't care if the White Sox won the World Series.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't root against
for it.
Yeah,
either way, you guys win. So
yeah, it's either we get happy Greg because they're winning, or we get destructive smashing things behind it. Maybe I don't know.
Yes, bringing out the turd mascot.
Bring out Ryan Braun.
Yeah, the poop emoji pillow, which I forgot to mention on our podcast. For the audio listeners, I didn't explain what that was. It was just the giant poop emoji pillow with a White Sox head on it, right?
Yeah,
it's back. All right, so it's been conveniently.
He's hanging out. He hasn't gone
conveniently
too far,
put away now that the Sox have.
He's just not on display today. So that would be nice to display it today. So
maybe next week.
I probably won't. Now that they've clinched, he probably won't come out until the postseason starts, because now I'm just paying attention. Now I kind of want to. I mean, kind of jump in. I guess I kind of want to just keep an eye on the bullpen now. Get to Parra back in there and see how because I think our roles are going to be defined, at least that's kind of Tony's MO, and then adjustments will be made, during the game. But I think I just want to keep an eye on them, kind of Kimbrel, especially. I know we brought him up before, but hopefully he kind of turns up the gear right here, and doesn't make Sox fans shit in their pants every time he takes the mound and does the fucking arm thing. So whatever.
Well, I mean, the one thing I saw, Greg, that'll make you happy is I saw Grandal. This was as of Monday from Chris Kampka on Twitter. The last 18 games since Yasmani Grandal has been back from the injured list, he was batting 383, a 500 on base, and an 833 slugging. No, OPS. Yeah. No, slugging. With 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. So he is full blown ready to rock.
I mean, that is fire right there.
There is no need to even bother James McCann. Let him sit at the end of the bench and fester, marinate. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, ruminate, something like that.
So suddenly we don't miss James McCann so much.
No, no. He can
still take him over Zach Collins though.
I can just see. Oh no, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Zach Collins. I can just see Zach Collins sitting at the end of the bench with his bat, being like, "Come on, Tony, I'm ready." And it's like, sit your ass down. You're not touching it. You're not touching the field. So good for Grandal. The one question I have for you guys, and I know Greg might be too happy to discuss this. So Vinny, maybe this is directed at you, but what is going on with Carlos Rodon? That's like the only Sox thing I've been kind of paying attention to lately. His bicep, his shoulder, his elbow.
Yeah, elbow soreness is never a good thing.
No.
That usually leads to Tommy John. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. What was his first? He was out earlier too, wasn't he, for rest or they all said it was rest, but they had one of those bogus injuries. But I don't know. 2 IL stints here in the second half. That's not what you want to see, but
no, his future paycheck's going down.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, that might affect. I mean, he's probably. I mean, obviously, Boris is there saying, "Don't say anything," because you're costing yourself millions right now.
Yeah,
but I mean, no pun intended. But when LaRusse, it's concerning when you hear LaRusse say, he's concerned.
Yeah,
because LaRusse is a pretty honest guy, and at least for Sox fans will know. Anytime you hear soreness with Carlos Rodon, that's what led to the bicep injury, soreness. That's what led to the shoulder inflammation, and eventually finished off with Tommy John. So, so right now, I mean, that's we gotta think about that. I know they want to start him. I think September 29th they want to get him back on the mound to see. But if we don't have him ready for the postseason, we gotta. So right now, I guess of today, it looks like Lynn would be your 1, Giolito would be your 2, who's having a much better second half.
Yeah,
than
great
first
second half. Yeah.
You ideally want Rodon to be your 3 if he's healthy. If not, you might have to bump up Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
And that might be, he has a high volume of pitches, so that might be, earlier, might see Michael Kopech earlier than expected. And after that, 4, what are we thinking? Keuchel, or are we pivoting to we thinking
Raylo?
Vinny,
well today.
He did. If I can be perfectly honest, for me it goes, Lynn, Giolito, Rodon, or Cease, and then if Rodon is not there, if Cease is 3, I think I'm looking at Raylo, and then just kind of having, hopefully you got Kopech and Crochet ready to come in for early appearances if you need, or even if you can rest a Tepera or something like that, get him in early for if Raylo can only give you 4. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. I know Sox fans have been speculating the same, but it all kind of hinders on what are we going to get from Rodon here in the postseason. So.
Yeah,
would you?
Go ahead, Vinny.
I was going to say, would you consider a Keuchel Cease? Have Cease come in after Keuchel? Because he's come out of the bullpen, hasn't he? Yes,
I would, but if it's going to be that, I almost just prefer Cease, man.
Okay.
I know Keuchel, his last start was okay, but I don't. Yeah, I mean,
he did give up 11 hits, so
he did give you're right. So it's like I want to avoid him as much as possible, at least as of today. So. Yeah, I don't know, but Keuchel, his only use to you, if you're gonna have him, is to start, because you pull him out of the bullpen. I mean, you just hand him the game while you're at it, most likely. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's some that's another thing that that I'll be following closely now that I can kind of unwind and say, okay, the vision's done. Let's get our shit straight. Let's get it right. So
nice. All right.
I don't know if you guys saw this. Chris Camp tweeted out today that this is the first time in franchise history that they went back to back and made the postseason. I don't know how true that is, but
back to back, huh? I knew they were the first time. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, geez.
I thought the Cubs playoff records were bad, but
yeah. I mean, at least in my memory, yeah.
I was trying to think back, and I'm like,
well, hopefully
you're witnessing history, Craig.
Yeah, I'm seriously. Hopefully, this becomes a thing. Hopefully, we can say the same next year. You know, knock on wood. So,
well,
we'll see. But yes,
fingers crossed. I mean, I'm trying to send you all the good vibes and good juju.
Well, thank
Greg.
you, Justin. But at least for tonight, we have the Y next to our name.
You can celebrate tonight.
Yes.
Celebrate tonight. Yeah.
Tony drink all the champagne, though.
Just call an Uber.
Yeah, I know.
For the love of God.
That was your call, by the way.
I can see the headlines. Yeah. Sox manager can't coach the first series of the playoffs this year because he's in jail right now, awaiting trial for another DUI.
Well, good thing they're away, so he doesn't have to drive.
Right,
they're all gonna get on the bus or whatever.
Yeah, he'll be on the bus. He'll be on the bus.
Maybe he's driving the bus.
I did also order the Central Division Champs T-shirt, the locker room.
Oh, there you go.
I couldn't stop myself. I'm like, I literally just. It was like the force controlling me. There's Kylo Ren over there messing with me.
As somebody who ordered so much Blackhawks apparel after the 2010 Cup run, and then same thing with so much Cubs apparel after 2016, I can totally understand that.
You never know. Yeah. It might be.
Might be the only time.
It might be the only shirt I get. For this season. Obviously I don't want that, but it might be. So I
totally
do what I can. So
totally. Well, should we? It's funny. You look at on our outline, our Google Doc, you got the White Sox portion of the outline is all this positive stuff. And then for the Cubs, it's like, this person's not playing anymore. This person's on injury reserve. This person's not playing anymore. So I guess, Vinnie, do you want to start us off with this prospect profile on Jimothy Triantos?
It's James Triantos.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wrote that.
Right, Jimothy is in from the office. Yeah.
Yes, I did. Jimothy.
That's it. Yeah.
I was like, is that really his name?
Yeah.
If it is, I like him even more. I'm not gonna lie.
No. But yeah, he's been showing up on Twitter, or I shouldn't say he's been, but other people have been posting about him and his slash lines and stuff like that. So I had no idea who he was. Turns out he's the second round pick of the 2021 draft.
Okay.
He's 18 years old. He was the top prospect coming out of Virginia. He was ranked 88 overall. That was by perfectgame.org. So I don't know how up to date those rankings are. Yeah. But he plays shortstop, second base, and third base. He projects as a left fielder in the majors. In Arizona League, he slashed 327, 376, 594 with an OPS of 970. He's a big contact type of hitter. He's starting to he's got a plus on contact, and they think that he can develop into have some sort of power. But in high school, he had a 94% contact rate. He hit 700 and struck out twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I like him already.
I think that's pretty good.
Jury's still out on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, right. And he's drawing comparisons to Alex Bregman from what I've been reading.
I would take that.
So, yeah. I
would take that.
Hopefully not the same personality.
Yeah, hopefully not as much of a douche. Yeah.
I don't think so because this weekend I told you guys about it, but there was a Twitter post about him. He went 4 for 4 and then Friday's game, and then he went 3 for 4 in Saturday's game. And someone wrote in, he goes, "Oh, well, he finally made an out." And then I wrote in that he should be released by the Cubs because, come on, he's not perfect.
Unacceptable.
He's not perfect. 8 and he actually liked my post, so he's got somewhat of a personality. He can take a joke. So
that was cool.
That's good to see. Yeah, I know.
That's awesome. So, not only do we have our unofficial minor league team, now we have our unofficial Cubs prospect too that we can root for.
Yeah.
So
hey, we can get it. Now we got to try and get him on.
Yeah,
so superstars say, "Hey,
yeah."
Friend of the pod from day one. So
right.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like as bad as the Cubs have been, God, how long has it been now? Since July. Seeing some of these prospects, especially the ones Vinny's been kind of pulling up for us, has been, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily super excited for the future of the Cubs, but at least it's given me something to look forward to, because right now the major league team, there's no reason for me to watch. Well, I can't watch, but there's no reason for me to listen on the radio at this point. So, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. The other thing
I love how we shit on Marquee, even though it's like unintentional too. It's just perfect.
It's
when that happens.
For me, Greg, it's intentional.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I was like,
it's kind of easy to do. I mean,
it's so easy. Yeah.
I have an agenda here. I have a bone to pick with Marquee. What about I saw this, and I was actually we were talking about this last night when we were on when Greg and I were on the 3 Spot podcast. We did a little guest interview, which we'll talk more about in a second, but the Conor McGregor throwing out the first pitch and then doing the 7th inning stretch. Why? Like, why?
Cubs PR this year has been awful since from their hashtag slogan of "Cub Together." Like, okay, come together, and then they get rid of everybody. Like,
yeah.
They get rid of everybody. Then the debacle with the whole sports book venture a week after they shipped. We're going to build this brand new thing because
we have no money though.
Pay people, we couldn't pay people contracts.
Yeah.
Between that and God, they've just been one thing after another. It's just been a bad debacle, and this is just pretty much the cherry on top, bringing in a guy like Conor McGregor. All the allegations and the bad stuff that's
the baggage that comes with him.
Yeah, exactly. It's just what are you thinking? It's just ridiculous. And then he goes and makes that great first pitch.
I mean, he airmailed that thing.
Yep.
Thank God the screen is there,
right?
He would have taken somebody out.
Yeah, if there's any reason to have the screen,
and him wearing his not crushed velvet, but whatever type of suit that is he wears on the
very
mound.
Tight suit.
Yes, it's a European cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a Michael Scott European
cut. Yeah, and I think it was Patrick Wisdom that was behind the plate for that one, if I'm not mistaken. But you could just see he whipped his head around like, holy shit, where's this thing going? And then the 7th inning stretch. Oh my God!
Oh, that was bad.
I am adamant, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, especially you, Vinny, but the whole let's have people on to promote their BS thing that they're making the rounds. I'm so done with that. It's like, they could literally do Mondays, Tuesdays, put Harry Carey on the Jumbotron in left field to do the 7th inning stretch, put, Wednesday and Thursday, put Ron Santo up there, and then find, Ernie Banks up there singing it another night just from all the different years. And I think most fans would be good. Like I say we, like I'm there all the time, but it's like, I don't need this stupid flavor of the week. Somebody who has no affiliation with the team, no affiliation with the city, doesn't really get it. I mean, like Jeff Gordon, Wrigley Park, like that Wrigley Stadium kind of level of thing.
Yeah.
Just keep it in-house. I think most fans would appreciate that. Like when I'm at a game, or granted, it's been a while now because of COVID, but like whenever it was just whenever you would see Harry come on the Jumbotron and just sing, I was so much more happier than listening to some a-hole sing, whatever. But I don't know.
I'd rather just be a drunk fan from the bleachers.
Yeah. There you go.
Chicago Cubbies,
come together. Hashtag come together.
Yeah. For as bad as that night was, they did it right the next night, having Derek Lee out there.
That makes sense.
Which is what they should do. Yeah, they should.
Former players,
former players, or even athletes like they had Justin Fields out there.
Yes. From the city,
from Chicago,
or even if you want to do like who's the guy from the Goldbergs, Jeff. That was also Jeff Garland, huge Cubs fan. Yeah. You want to have Jeff Garland do it,
but then he goes on the radio and does his best Pat Hughes impersonation.
Yes,
because he loves Pat Hughes.
Pat Hughes.
Yeah.
So like at least grab people that are not even affiliated, but are fans. Now I will admit, I don't want John Cusack anywhere near that.
I was going to say, where do you stand on John Cusack?
What about Jeremy Piven?
No, I'm not. No, like I don't mind Entourage, but Jeremy Piven's a creepy dude in my book. Like he just, But no, John Cusack. I'm sorry, that moron. I don't know. That's too strong of a word. But you can't just
that
show up and like you can't. Yeah, he's from Chicago. From Chicago, lives in Chicago still. I don't know, but like he only shows up when they're good, and he constantly jumps back and forth between teams. Like, if you're in the city, you can't do that. I'm sorry, but I don't know. He rubs me the wrong way. So what am I gonna? I don't know. I'm on
not a John Cusack pod here.
Yeah.
No. I mean, if he wants to come on, I'd be happy to have him on. But no,
I just ask him about Con Air. That's the only thing I do.
Yeah.
He hates that movie. He will not talk.
Does he really?
Yes.
See, that's why he's not. That's why he's a bad
supposedly,
person.
Yeah.
Supposedly, he refuses to discuss Con Air, and he will not do interviews about any of his early movies, like Say Anything and 16 Candles and things like that. He will not talk about them.
That's the only thing people want to talk
I was going to say,
about.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about 1408. Sorry, John. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. You know, but yeah, supposedly he's a real winner. But the only other two things we had on here for the Cubs then was this Vinnie or Greg, you're that guy Cub trivia. I think I might have the answer to this one too.
I don't know that one.
I don't know.
No, that was Greg. I am not that well versed in all the numbers, especially.
Yeah, I know, man.
I know. I went a little crazy. I'll read in a second.
My eyes kind of glossed over at that part. But Alfonso Rivas is done with the season with a finger ligament injury. Vinny, was he disappointing? He was playing on the major league roster for the call-ups, right? Correct?
Yeah. He was playing outfield and first base. Yeah,
I mean,
those two. That was
there's potential there. And then Hayward is doubtful to return this year, which okay. I mean,
that's a good thing.
It's probably a good thing.
That, don't like people being out with injuries. No. And who knows how bad his injury actually is, and maybe they're just using that as an excuse to say, "Hey, we want to see more of the young players play." You're earning your paycheck. Just have an early vacation.
Go take
have a chair. Have a chair.
We don't need you for any inspiring speeches this postseason, so go take a break. So but Greg, tell us about your trivia question for this.
Okay, so I guess welcome back to That Guy Cub, small little segment in the Cubs section. Guys, I went a little crazy on this one. But I'll just like before, I'll read you some clues, some facts, some weird ass shit that I came up with, and write in to us, Twitter, email, Facebook, all that stuff, and tell us who you think that Cubs player might be. And I always pick someone that's a little obscure that people's like, oh yeah, I remember he was on the team for like 2 hours, but So with all that being said, we'll get started with some of the clues here. So we'll start off. So this guy was kind of a mini stud third baseman / cleanup hitter with the Diamondbacks. He slashed 280, 339, 453 with a 792 OPS over 6 seasons with the D-backs. A couple 20-plus home run seasons mixed in there. Kind of went downhill towards the end of the D-backs tenure, though. So naturally,
the Cubs picked him
and give him a minor league contract with an invite to spring training, and he makes the opening day roster. I won't give you the year. You'll have to figure that out based on the clues. Here's something wacky for you. If you take his jersey number he wore with the D-backs and divide it by 2, that is the number he wore for the Cubs. For the Cubs, he slashed 250, 327, 295 with no home runs. So
a lot of muscle there.
Yeah. He was DFA'd, cleared waivers, and sent down to Iowa to make room for Starlin Castro.
Now, was that Starlin Castro's rookie year, or I guess his first call up?
Yes, that would be his call up from. I believe he was called up from Double-A that year. If that kind of narrows this down for you, that's kind of one of those clues. Okay. Let's continue. So the Yankees picked his ass up in July. Didn't last long. He finished the season with the Marlins. That this is all the same year, by the way, guys. And if you take his jersey number he wore with the D-backs and divide it by 6, that is the number he wore for the Marlins. And for extra credit, if you can tell me the Marlins player that wore that number previously before he was dealt to the Rangers earlier that week, let us know, and you'll get some special points. And we'll finish it off by this player. He is currently coaching a 14U travel girls softball team in North Carolina that I believe one of his daughters plays on the team.
That's
so
cool.
Interesting.
That is That Guy Cub. We will Well, I guess you can rewind and listen to the clues again.
Yeah, I'll
There's a lot right here. Maybe we can post some of these.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
few of
I'll
these
post
or
the clues
something.
in the
So,
show notes of the podcast. So if you click
hopefully,
on,
hopefully
yeah.
those clues were a little fun. I try to make it a
Yeah.
little interesting.
I'm
but
really proud of myself. I think I know it, and I just looked up. I think it's correct. So I am
You
not.
think you
gonna
got
say-
okay?
I think I got it. So I am not going
You'll have to tell me after the show or
off
write
the
it
air,
in.
yeah.
Because I think I want to know what kind of gave it away.
Okay.
If it was the D-back stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Please write in and let us know.
Yeah,
your
let us
best
know.
guess. Hopefully, if you do find out the answer, if you end up having to look it up because you don't get it, hopefully that answer you recognize the name. You're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about him. That is my goal when doing that guy Cubs. So enjoy. Hopefully you like this one.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Greg. That was a good one. I think. Yeah, I think I'm hoping. I think we might get a few answers from some Cubs people on this one. This might be good. So, do we want to go to around the MLB? Jake Arrieta.
Yeah.
Jake Arrieta has torpedoed another franchise this year. I like to put all the blame on him as to why the Padres are not making the postseason.
Rightfully
anymore.
so.
Yep.
Let's just blame it on him.
I don't know, Vinnie. Were you the one that? I'm guessing you're the stat guy. Did you get all these stats for us?
Nope.
No,
That was not
Greg.
me.
I put this on.
Greg, give it to us, man. Tell us what you got.
So I was just kind of looking. I was just kind of looking at I was looking at Jake. Jake Arrieta DFA'd by the Padres. I mean, what should never have gotten.
Should never been signed.
Yeah.
I mean, the Padres are just screwed, and it's kind of sad. Actually,
It is. They were
Yeah.
so
we'll
good.
get back. We'll get back to him in a moment. I wrote down a bunch of BS stats right here. I'm not going to get into it all. Jake Arrieta, as of tonight, finishes with a 5-14 record, 7.39 ERA. Just absolutely sickening, despicable.
That's good, right?
Just negative 2.6 WAR, and then with the Cubs, I looked up his Cubs stats right here, but the runs above replacement, so those are runs given up by replacement level pitcher, minus 23 runs, guys.
Oh gosh.
Come on, but so this didn't work out for the Cubs because he signs the 1 year $4 million, gets DFA'd, no player return. Cubs aren't going to the postseason. Padres are screwed. And then that's kind of where we're at with Jake Arrieta. But I kind of looked up, John Lester, because there were talks about the Cubs re-signing him, and by no means, guys, are these stats. I mean, these are all bad pitching stats.
Yeah,
by the
they're not
way.
great. Yeah.
But what I do find interesting, the only difference I find interesting about Lester is his stats returning to the NL Central. Since he's been with the Cardinals, he's gone 4-1, 4 ERA in 10 games started, 130 WHIP, and 2 runs above replacement. So the Nationals originally signed him to a 1 year, $5 million deal. Then he was traded to the Cardinals. That's the thing that gets me. Like someone gave something for this guy.
Yep.
And what's is so weird is the Cardinals are holding the second wild card spot right now with a 4.5 game lead. And when Cardinals pitcher Jack Flaherty is healthy, Lester is listed as the 4th starter.
Wow.
So this boils down to John Lester is pitching meaningful baseball right now, if you want to call it that. I mean, let's be honest about it, though. They're facing the Dodgers, so they're probably screwed.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the guy that the Nationals got for Lester, and he's doing pretty well right now. His name is Lane Thomas. He's the starting center fielder and leadoff man for the Nationals. I know the Nationals are garbage right now, but since he's been with the team, he's hitting 291, 385, 530 slugging, 6 home runs and 23 RBIs over 35 games. That's pretty good. Maybe they got something there. Who knows? That might not work out. That might be a this season thing, but Vinny, you're a prospect guy going back. If you know all this now, I know you weren't happy about, the possibility of bringing John Lester, but if you knowing all this now, would you go back and switch it?
But the thing is, do they trade John Lester to the Cardinals?
Yes. Do they trade? Did John Lester get?
That would be the thing, and I don't.
Well, let's say he gets traded for something. He's tradable. Let's just
a comparable.
Yeah. I mean,
right, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course you would, but
it would be.
You don't know what. yeah, you don't know what you don't know what you would have gotten. I mean, I still can't believe the Cardinals actually gave up something for him.
I don't get that either.
They at the time they did, they were in a really rough spot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're holding tight. I mean, they got to face the Dodgers, so let's face it, their chances are probably slim to none. But with my last fact is that with John Lester's overall season ERA would be the best on the Chicago Cubs starting pitchers. So
I don't know how you guys feel about this. Like in hindsight's 2020, I would have taken Lester over Arrieta at the beginning of the year, even knowing that Lester was starting to fall off. But I think what's so damning about Arrieta is there was clearly a problem with his mechanics, delivery, tipping pitches. I don't know, but the fact that every time he would talk about it, he would double down on it wasn't his fault. It was he's still good. He still got this. It's fine. I just got to fix some stuff. And then obviously I know there's a lot more to it than just saying I'm going to fix it, but like to constantly like go about, oh, I'm good. I'm still good. It's like, no, look at your numbers. You were not good. And it's one of those, like, you hate to see those guys that come back for one more year and they hang on too long. And I mean, he is a perfect example because I feel like in Philly, he was kind of going down a little bit. And then you talk about this year, it was like someone just pushed him off a cliff. I mean, it's not even comparable. So I don't know.
This is where we've come to with former Cubs pitchers, I guess, just breaking down awful stats, I suppose. I found it interesting. Yeah. The thing that, like I said, the reason I went and looked into this, because I just learned today the guy the Nationals got for him. I wonder what that guy's up to, I don't even know what the name was. I thought it was just like a cash consideration in the end or something. Where I'm like, I'm going to keep an eye on that guy and see where that kind of works out for them. But in the end, it's just kind of, bad baseball teams kind of surrounding them at this point. We don't really want to see the Cardinals as a podcast. We don't want to see the Cardinals go to the postseason, but looks like it's at least today it looks like it's gonna happen. So
I think like on Fangraphs they're like at 85-86% now from a playoff.
Oh, it's that high, huh?
Yeah, they were. I think in the beginning of September they were at like 5%, and now they're at 85%.
It was. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna happen.
No, I didn't think so either. So yeah, I mean, it's you hate to see guys fall off, but Jake Arrieta is kind of a dick to begin with. So I don't know, but what about? And I know Vinnie.
Speaking of the Padres, right?
Yes, Vinnie, your dad wrote into us about this too, about the screaming match between Tatis and Machado. I don't even know where to begin. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think is it more Machado? Is it more Tatis? Is it just everything is crumbling around them? And like, you know what I mean?
A little bit of everything. Well, Tatis got thrown out of that game, if I'm not mistaken. So
the manager did.
Yeah. I think Machado, he was more upset. Like, hey, dude, like
we need you.
We need you. We're trying to do something here. You can't, let your emotions get the best of you. And obviously, emotions are running high because they are struggling and they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
No, I mean, this is like a Cubs choke job at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bad.
And I just think it's, we saw the same thing with the Cubs with Rizzo and Contreras when things were going south, that, tempers seemed to flare. I mean, it's in the dugout. It's, no punches were thrown. They're just arguing. I don't, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it happens. Like, I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I will be the first to admit I've gotten into, I think there was one or two times I got into a screaming match with somebody on the bench at hockey.
No,
I swear to God,
I can't even. I
can't picture that.
What would that sound like?
I don't even. No, it doesn't. Hey, sir. I don't like your tone.
I don't like your tone.
No,
you think you're the bee's knees, buddy?
Well, and that was the thing. Like, I will be the first to admit my hockey skills. I'm not the worst on the team. I'm not the best on the team. I'm probably somewhere in the middle, and I'm more of a team game kind of guy. You kind of, everybody's got to pull together to kind of, I don't know, what's that saying? The boat goes when everyone's pulling. I'm not good with this kind of thing. But anyway, sidebar. I just remember we had one. I don't
know where that was going.
Yeah. A rising tide lifts all boats. Yes, that's it. Right? Yeah. No,
I've never heard of that.
Really? You never heard that?
I've never heard of that. I don't think so.
I've heard that. I'm gonna have to
heard that. Just
say it
recently.
again.
A rising tide lifts all boats. Meaning, like, if you work
I
literally just heard that yesterday.
Really?
From a coworker. So yeah.
Okay, now I don't have to edit this whole segment out.
This is a new one for me, so I'll use it.
No,
but
like I just remember we had a couple guys on our team. Gosh, this was probably a decade or 15 years ago, and I just remember they were hot shots in scoring goals, and which is fine. You got to score a goal to win a hockey game. That's generally how it works. But I remember at one point the guy turned to me and he goes, he had said something. I said, well, it's a team game. Somebody's got to pass you the puck and get an assist to get you the goal. And he turned around, looked at me and goes, I don't need you. I don't need assists. I can do this all on my own. And I just lost my shit. And again, it's men's league. It's stupid. That's very stupid. But I was like, whoa, boy. And I was screaming something.
Slow your roll there, son.
Yeah.
Give him a little veteran lesson right there.
I'm like, hey, dude. I was in skates when you were in diapers, a-hole. Yeah, no. But like you said, especially, I mean, this is a professional sport. They're doing this for a living. They're trying to make the playoffs. The Padres haven't had the best playoff record for the foreseeable, last 15, 20, 30 years, probably.
Yeah.
And this a month ago, if you would have told me they would be out of it, I would have said, you're insane. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. Is it, should people be making more out of it than it is? No, it happens. I mean, if you look at any other dugout, like you said, Vinny or Greg, whoever it was about the Cubs and Contreras and Rizzo, that's a perfect example. Things aren't going good. Tensions are high. Let's be realistic. To make it to this level in pro sports, you have to be like on another level in terms of like your desire to win and go far. And when it's not happening, it's going to be very hard to put the blame on yourself or the onus on yourself. So if somebody messes something up, all that anger is going to get directed at them. So I can totally understand it.
Exactly. No, I agree with everything you guys just said. And hopefully the outcome of this is, Machado is the veteran at this point. So hopefully this is a teaching moment for the young Tatis. Because he did say it's not all about you or something along those lines. And hopefully Tatis responds well to the shouting he got to. Because let's face it, these guys got a huge contract for the Padres, so they're going to be
together
there for a while,
right next to each other at third and short.
In my opinion too. That's why I hate all this stuff about the media say whoever says like, oh no, that has to be handled in the clubhouse. Or it has to be handled off camera. I'm like, yeah, you would like that, wouldn't you? Because when it's off camera, you can't see anything, and then you can just speculate whatever the hell you goddamn want.
Yeah.
So that way, it's in his face. You know what happened. It happened. It's over, and hopefully they can, hopefully Tatis learns from this. Hopefully Machado, kept it in the grounds of, learning from a veteran, even though albeit, a harsh moment.
Yeah.
But something that he can maybe take and use one day himself when he gets to that point. So I mean, that's part of the game. Learning from the veterans. I mean, that's a huge part of part of life.
I was kind of surprised too, because I always had read that Machado was kind of the hothead in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, he is.
The me, as opposed to the team. So to see him saying it's not about you, it's about the team. I was generally shocked. I thought when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, what did Machado do? Which I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. But
well, I heard that Machado brought along the third base coach from Baltimore, who's kind of like a tough love sort of guy.
Really?
So they kind of tell you how it is.
Okay.
And Machado, I think, went on the record say, when he was a rookie, he would, get scoldings from some of the veterans. He mentioned, guys like Adam Jones and JJ Hardy be there to, teach him. Give him the veteran yelling for a moment, try and teach the young rookie that's not the way you do it, son.
Yeah.
So to speak. So and that's clearly, if that's all true, that's had an impact on Machado, where now he's doing it to the young Tatis.
Yeah.
So all in all, hopefully it just works out for both of them, and they, they come out, better for this, maybe not this
for next
year,
season,
but for down the line. So
we shall see. I want to see them do well. I like watching at the NL West and the AL West. So
and their window's still open too. This year,
they have time.
They're not going away.
No, they have time. They have time. So do you guys want to talk about the Blue Jays sign stealing? I guess that's what it is, right? Like,
literal sign stealing.
So for those people who haven't seen it, it was Toronto and Tampa.
Yep.
There was a play at the plate. The Toronto catcher's little index card of certain tendencies by certain players on the opposing team fell out of his wrist guard, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the way they were going to pitch the Rays.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, it's comparable to like what some quarterbacks wear on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like they have their little thing of plays. But anyway, it fell out in the Tampa Bay Ray that was at the play at the plate, which was it Kirkmeyer? Is that his name?
Yeah, Kevin Kiermaier.
Right. Kiermaier.
Yeah,
there you go.
Kiermaier, yeah.
He slides into plate. He's tagged out. The Toronto Blue Jays walk off the field. And then you just see him. There's like a good 3 or 4 seconds where he's just staring at this note card. And like, you can see the gears are turning in his head. Like, oh shit, I should probably take this. And he just very calmly takes it. And then you see him in the dugout. He hands it to somebody in the dugout. And I don't know what happened to it since. So, and then he got beamed today in a game because they made a big deal about it. So I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about your thoughts first? Then I can go last. But I mean,
did you?
You go ahead, Vinny, because you were pretty funny about this one.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. Everybody that says, "Oh man, he should have given that back," no, he shouldn't have. Fuck that. I'm sorry. That is just a bunch of bullshit. It drops on the ground right in his lap. He actually turned around and looked like, is anybody going to come back for this?
Yeah.
You realize it? You just dropped this. No,
they left it there.
Yeah. Sign stealing has been in the game of baseball since the beginning of time. This is just the literal form of sign stealing.
Right.
And they got it in
There's no technology used here.
There's no technology. You gave it to him. That was your fault. And you're going to get upset and then beat the player because he took the card that fell literally in his lap. It's not like he,
it's not like somebody up at gunpoint.
Exactly. It's not like he pickpocketed and stole it. No, you guys handed it to him and you retaliate because you're upset that he got it. That's literally it. Because your mistake, you're upset. You're going to hit that player. That is just classless. I'm going to get too worked up about this, but
Vinny, was
that
your
tweet to did Dave
Kaplan?
Dave Kaplan tweet?
Oh yeah,
you tweeted something back. I saw that.
I was cheesed when I saw that.
I was like, that is beautiful.
So Vinny, if I'm not mistaken, David Kaplan of Chicago Sports
ESPN.
Radio, ESPN,
he was okay
NBC
with
Sports
it.
Chicago. You'll have to refresh my memory. He said something along the lines of, "I don't advocate for throwing balls at other players, but in this case, he earned it." I'm like, well, wait a minute.
This case of all cases?
Yes. I don't advocate for it, but I do advocate for it. So you advocate for it. That's just ridiculous.
I think that your mean thing, trumps this. Your mean is above this.
Yes.
One. And you guys know how I feel about that. It's like, serious? I couldn't believe
I couldn't believe
that.
The only thing, and Vinny, I'm right there with you. I completely agree 100%.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't the Astros. There's no trash cans being banged on. There's no electronic sign stealing. It's literally a piece of paper that fell. And he looked around. He's like, okay. I mean, we'd be ridiculing him if he didn't grab the piece of paper. But the fact,
for real.
You know what I mean? I think the only thing I don't like is when asked about it, he's like, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was one of ours." Like he made up this stupid story. Now, his credit. Yeah, are you gonna? Would I say, "Oh, yeah, I knew what it was, so I took it"? No, probably not. But it's like, you kind of look like a dumbass when you say, "I didn't know what it was."
Yeah,
I did. I thought, and then when he said it, he thought it was his teams. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah. Okay. Why would you have that?
So. Is that enough? Is that enough to be warranted to be thrown at?
No.
Hell no. No. These unwritten rules that are literally written in blood at this point. It's like, come on. You move. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You're. It's fine if you have the little. I know I'm old school. I'm not a big fan of the cheat sheet thing. I get it, obviously, but it's if you have it, that's fine. If you need it, that's fine. That's all. If the guys pull their thing out of the pocket, where should I stand right here? So
the outfielders using it kind of bugged me more than the catcher.
Well, this guy's up to bat, so I got to change 3 paces to the left and then forward a little bit. But that's only if it's a 1-1.
I didn't know that Professor Frink joined the podcast.
Yeah, right. And but anyway, that aside, like if you have it, that's fine. If you need it, great. how about you keep track of it? You know,
Yeah.
if anything, why did they throw at you? It's like, hey, don't drop your shit, wake you up for being a dumbass.
Yeah,
You know, here's
exactly.
a right in the ribs.
Or
It's
get
like, keep
one of the
track of your
things that's
shit.
protected. David Ross had one of those when he caught for the Cubs, where he could flip it back and forth. And
Yeah,
it
I was
in
gonna say,
like-
why don't
that
they
was
just
more
have
the
what the
QB
quarterbacks
style
have?
Yeah, the quarterback-
one. Yeah, it's
the quarterback
exactly
wrist,
what they
yeah.
have. Yes.
not a folded up piece of paper you keeping in your
Back
baseball
pocket or
pants.
something,
Yeah.
What am I supposed to call it to? You know, just like
Oh God.
This is like Simpsons baseball
Yeah.
stuff right now. This is hilarious.
Do you
and
want to argue about
ridiculous.
my cheat sheet, or do you see me hit some dingers?
Yeah.
Dingers.
Bigger. Yoink.
Real quick before we shift to our movies, I know you guys wrote on here magic numbers. Do you want me to go over actual standings, or should we just do wild card at this point?
My magic number's been eliminated, so do what you will, Justin.
All right. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays have clinched the division, I believe, right? Or at least they clinched a playoff spot in the AL East.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Sox have clinched the AL Central. Sorry. Astros are pretty.
Well, I wouldn't mind if they clinched the AL West too. That'd make it easier matchup.
Just let them right in.
Yeah, let them right in.
The Houston Astros are a few games away from clinching the AL West. But I think the big thing here for the AL wild card, I guess, would be Boston. The Yankees are in the top two spots. They have switched again. Toronto is a half game out. They are playing Minnesota right now, so that might change. And then Seattle,
Minnesota last place, by the way.
yes,
Yeah.
which Greg is loving right there.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sox are in first.
Fantastic.
Twins are in last. Greg's going to sleep good tonight.
Love it.
Seattle is 2 games out. They are trying so hard. I want them to make it so bad.
For you.
Scott Service deserves manager of the year. The fact that he has taken these guys to this close, with the fact that they have a minus 53 run differential and they're still in the playoff race. Like,
That's nuts.
I don't know how that's possible, and they don't probably deserve it. But in Oakland now Oakland is 4 games out. They're falling back a little bit, but they still have 6 games before they're eliminated from the wild card.
Okay.
San Francisco and Milwaukee have clinched playoff spots. Atlanta is almost clinched the AL East, but Philadelphia is only like a game or 2 behind them.
Mm-hmm.
The NL wild card, the Dodgers have clinched. St. Louis is 4.5 games up on Philly in the NL wild card, and Cincinnati is 5.5 games back. So it's looking more and more likely like LA and St. Louis will be your NL wild card team. So yeah, that's it.
How about that for the Dodgers? You know, second best record in all of baseball, and
they got a playing game,
wild card spot. I mean, I'm not sympathetic towards the Dodgers.
No,
if I was a Dodgers fan, I'd be like, God, this is shitty. But
that might be Dodgers and Cardinals. I don't have 2 more teams I dislike more.
Yeah, that's
not a likable series.
Who do you guys root for?
Neither.
Case you just turn on
the power goes out and they
right?
can't play the game, and it's
the big asteroid.
It's gonna take them both out.
Yep, come on, right there.
Real quick. You guys want to do a Bears 1-minute review? Not that we're a football podcast.
Yeah.
But Vinny, you got any thoughts on the Bears last game, the upcoming game against the Browns?
I will let Greg go first.
All right, Greg, go ahead.
I get Justin Fields getting the start versus Cleveland. We're looking forward to this. He had a couple nice throws the last game.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. Yeah. So I guess positive. Yeah, I don't really have
my thoughts are if Ryan Pace, if Matt Nagy is still calling the plays, it's not going to go well. I just think, I don't know. He needs to design a playbook that suits Justin Fields' strengths, kind of like what he should have done for Mitchell Trubisky, but he refused. He's trying to pop a square peg into a round hole, and it's not working.
I guess if they have this week to game plan with now that they know Fields is the starter, maybe they can
I hope,
develop something good passing in the pocket and an occasional
scrambling
and stuff. Matt Nagy seem to be his strengths. So
he strikes me as a guy that thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and everyone else in the room knows he's like the dumbest guy in the room.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to his play calling, and I don't know, I can't stand him. But
then there's Chicago media on Twitter. I think I even tweeted something like this. I'm like, we're just eating up all of Nagy's bullshit still getting ourselves worked out over it. Just stop. Just stop. This is probably what he wants you to do because he knows he's an idiot, but he's trying to.
But when Andy Dalton's healthy,
he's trying to push it on all of us. Like it's just. I mean, I know he's a head coach, but it's just like, for me, I'm just watching the kid, man. I'm just watching
that's it. That's the
Justin
only
Fields. I'm
reason.
excited to see him.
Yeah.
But that is a good point. Like Nagy, it's almost like I kind of wish there was someone else coaching him.
Anybody.
But,
Yeah. So, Vinny, what about you?
It's like we're back to the John Fox, Mitchell Trubisky thing. Like,
yeah.
do we really want John Fox coaching him? It's like we don't
No.
want John Fox doing anything. We don't want Matt Nagy doing anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Do you know what's pathetic?
What's pathetic?
Here
Vinny?
we go.
Having 4 interceptions, or having causing 4 turnovers in the opposing team.
Yep.
Do you know how many offensive touchdowns you got from that?
I believe the answer is
Zero.
None.
Not
None.
a single one. And they had one inside the 10.
red zone. Yeah.
You have got to be kidding me. This play caller, Matt Nagy, should fire himself. He clearly cannot call plays.
No.
He couldn't do it before. He can't do it now. He hasn't learned. He needs to give it up, because every time I see the shotgun at the 5-yard line, I am going to throw something at my TV. You can't have wide receivers running routes deep on 5 yards and goal. Like,
Why not?
Because they all get bunched up, and it's
Don't tell me there's
pathetic.
nowhere to run. They can run down the tunnel, Vinny. Come on.
Run the dang ball, Bert. Just run it. That's all he has to do. Get Montgomery.
And he can do it. That's the thing. Like
they can, but they
he's
don't.
done it already.
Yeah.
And I drove into work yesterday. I had the score on, and they had a sound clip where someone goes, "Oh, they just need to adjust to Justin Fields and have him do boots and rollouts." And I'm like, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
Are they just rehashing the Mitchell Trubisky era?
They are.
Because that's exactly what everybody used to say.
That's what I don't want to. That's what I don't want to.
He
like,
never
right
learned.
now.
He never adjusted for him. And granted, I think Justin Fields is way more capable and better player.
I think he's a better. Yeah,
But you might have had something that was decent in Mitchell Trubisky if you made your scheme about him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I don't
Like
know.
we never would have known because it never
happened.
It was like a never was.
Yeah.
But don't worry,
So-
he's got a Coach of the Year award that he can hang his hat on.
Yeah,
so.
that is all true. I mean, I think, like, me personally, because you guys are right about everything. If I see more of this stuff, more of this play calling in this upcoming game, which, let's face it, there's
It's going to happen.
really good fucking chance. I think that is. I mean, Chicago. Do we just have to get into full Springfield and just mob law right here? Just literally torching pitchforks. It might be.
It's
It might
getting
be our only
close.
solution.
It's getting close. So,
But
I mean,
he's not an idiot. Don't worry, guys. He's not an idiot either.
he's a smart man.
Yeah.
He came from Andy Reid's tree. He'll be fine.
Yeah. The rotten fruit from Andy Reid's
Right, yeah,
tree.
seriously.
I
fell right off and rolled down the hill.
One bad apple
Yep.
spoils the bunch.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's our 1-minute review of the Bears game. We will touch base with that again next week. Greg, you want to?
I think it was a minute too long.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Greg, you want to go over what the plan is for whatever again once more, and then we can jump in?
Welcome to whatever. We finally made it to whatever. So we are going to go over. I think I got this inspiration from Twitter, which is like, what is a movie what is a movie you wish you could go back and experience for the first time? I know there are, several movies on my list, on your list, that, really had a huge impact on us, that I was like, you wish you could harness or grasp that feeling you had watching it the first time, if that makes sense to anyone right here.
Yeah,
So
totally.
it's movies that made an impact, movies that you could go back and say, gosh, I wish I could watch that again for the first time. And, just to have a little fun, we might throw in a movie that we're, for lack of a better word, we're embarrassed to admit that we like, I suppose.
I got one
or
of
just
those.
something
got
that be
three.
like, oh, really? Somebody's like, oh, really? You like that one? And no judgment, obviously.
Of course not.
Because
No.
I'm hoping we have some good ones here. I wonder if you guys have any of the one, because I only thought of one really that I guess I wouldn't even say embarrassed, but just kind of like, oh, really? That one, huh?
I got one that I still get shit for when I tell people I like it. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got
so-
three.
You got Is yours a chick flick, Justin?
It is.
Mine is.
I am
Was
a
it the one that you told us about? 'Cause
It
that's
was.
Not really, that's not.
You don't think so?
Flick.
So yeah, I might as well just say I like myself a good chick flick now and then. My wife refuses to watch any of them with me, so that makes it a little awkward. But You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks.
Oh,
and
you did
Ryan.
tell us that. Yeah.
That's not a bad movie.
No, I think it's a great movie. I love that movie.
Outside of Erica giving you crap, who else gives you crap?
Former friends and stuff like that. So.
Really?
Erica gives me crap for everything, so it doesn't really matter. But Dave Chappelle in that movie, totally so good. So good.
Nice.
Although
he was better in Con Air.
He was. Yes. So yeah, You've Got Mail. There's something. I mean, whatever. Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. Like, I love Tom Hanks as an actor. Mm-hmm. I think for me, the thing I like about that movie so much is I remember growing up around that time in like 94, 95, when we got America Online for the first time in the internet, and like being able to go online and hearing You've Got Mail and going on, mail, AOL, the buddy list, and talking to people and going through the AOL channels and like, chat rooms and all that kind of stuff, which like I was nuts about that stuff. Probably, I was like in like, that 94, I was probably in like third grade, maybe. So I was probably even too young to be that into it, but I loved I remember trying to design like a web page when I was in like third or fourth grade, and which makes sense now. But I love that movie. I am unapologetically not afraid to admit I love that movie. So, and same thing. Sleepless in Seattle is a good one too, for that matter.
Yep.
But
I haven't seen that one in a long time. But
it's a good one.
All right.
It's a good one. So I don't know. What about you guys? You got any other inspirational ones or embarrassing ones?
Should I just say my quote unquote embarrassing?
Yeah,
one?
get it out of the way.
I'm going to go with Legally Blonde.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
I think that movie, Reese Witherspoon has really turned into quite a phenomenal actress. I mean, she was, let's face it, she was from day one, but I think she's taken on more of the serious roles now, but I think she was just banging in that.
I think they're making a third one too.
I think they are. I mean, there's Elle Woods. Like you, Vinny, I grew up with sisters, so we watched that one a lot, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Yeah, I think that movie's hilarious. So I think it's nice. A ton of fun. I think it's a generally good movie too. Yeah. The second one I can't really say the same for, but the first one I think is pretty solid. So
nice.
Is the first one with the bend and snap scene?
Yeah.
I think that's like the only scene. I've only seen that.
I only saw the movie once, and I remember that. Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. So
that was with Stifler's mom.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Luke Wilson in that movie.
Yep.
Victor Garber. A lot of that was Selma Blair. So
yeah.
There we
nice.
go. Yeah.
Good choice.
Pretty good.
Vinny, you want to do an embarrassing one before we jump to more inspirational ones?
I'm just gonna name off all three.
Okay.
You guys can tell me what you think. I have Mean Girls, John Tucker Must Die, and It's Complicated.
Okay.
Oh, that's with
Is that Ryan Wilson? Not Ryan Wilson.
No,
Ryan Reynolds.
No,
that's with Meryl Streep.
Yep, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
What's his name?
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I can't think of his name.
Alec Baldwin,
Alec Baldwin. That's it.
Steve Martin, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah, that was a good movie.
So, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
No,
I'm thinking of. Is it? It's definitely maybe I think is what I'm thinking of with Ryan Reynolds. Never mind. I'm on a tangent here.
Oh, you're thinking of the one with Sandra Bullock?
No. I honestly.
Oh, you're thinking of the one with Amy Smart, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
I saw it once in theaters. I don't remember where, but
okay.
But yeah, what were the other ones, Vinny?
That was it.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
John Tucker and
Oh yeah, sorry.
I didn't see John.
I have never seen John Tucker Must Die. No,
it's a good. It's a good movie. Just a teenage chick flick type of movie. It's good cast.
Well,
pretty funny.
Here's a couple other embarrassing people wrote in some embarrassing ones. Melissa wrote in and said she is embarrassed that she likes Ghostbusters 2, as she should be, because that movie is garbage. If you ask me.
Like that movie. What? There's nothing wrong with that movie.
Oh, Vinny, no, it's so bad.
I'll have to rewatch that one, guys. I haven't seen it in so long. It's been.
I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still good.
Yeah, I guess. Greg, my other buddy, Greg, wrote in. He said, I am not embarrassed to admit this, but I love the Pitch Perfect movies. I listen to the songs on YouTube frequently, and he loves them.
I would never have guessed that.
No, and you guys know my buddy Greg. He's a big fan of Pitch Perfect. Our buddy Chris, who writes in all the time, our White Sox correspondent, he said guilty pleasures for him are, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, guilty pleasures for him to admit: Draft Day, San Andreas, The Blind Side, and Need for Speed.
I am all Chris. I am with you on Draft Day.
Draft Day is a great movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I am with you on Draft Day.
I have to watch that one. I haven't seen that.
Erica, my wife, wrote in. She said she's not embarrassed to admit it, but Dude, Where's My Car is one of her favorites. It was her happy movie in college when dealing with seasonal affective disorder. And after I got through that, I made it into a drinking game, which that checks out.
That makes sense. Yeah, why not fight seasonal depression
with alcohol?
Drinking, yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I don't think there's anything wrong.
No, self-medication is no problem whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
I was talking about the movie.
No, the movie's great.
The movie's solid.
I remember I was supposed to see that in like middle school or high school when it came out. Never got around to it. And I finally saw it for the first time, probably a couple of years ago. And I'm like, oh, this did not live up to the hype in my head, But
yeah, watching it back in the day, it was great. But
back in the day, yeah.
Watching as an adult, like this is moronic, but it's still good though.
I get it. Do we want to talk about movies that influenced us or ones we could experience again?
Sure.
Greg, go ahead.
So I'm actually when I saw this on Twitter, it really jumped out at me. So I'm going back in time now to when I was a kid, obviously, but I'm actually sticking with a certain genre of movie here. And I'm going to talk about horror movies, actually.
Okay.
So I am going to start off with my top one, I suppose. And as a kid, the movie The Exorcist, like I don't know if changed your life is the right word, but maybe just blew me away. And actually, the only movie that has actually genuinely scared me, because I'm all here for horror movies and everything. I saw tons as a kid. That one introduced me to the concept of demonic possession, whether you believe in it or not. I don't really know where I stand on it on real life, but I didn't really know like that was a thing. I didn't know what The Exorcist was. My experience before that was my parents talking about it when they saw it, back when it came out in 70 whatever. And like that was it. And I watched the whole thing through, and I think it was on Cinemax or something like that. They had it on, and it was at my uncle. They had cable or whatever. So it was either that or like HBO or something. So I didn't see like an edited version or anything. But truly horrifying stuff, memorable scenes, memorable music, and just the ending of, Father Karras taking the demon inside of him, then killing himself, jumping out the window to trap the demon inside of him. Just like, wow.
Yeah, that
incredible. Just left me that feeling like it was just so unsettling. I think that's the right word.
Yeah.
And it's all I could think about was, that demon lurking around somewhere, just like
just waiting.
Supernatural in the air, just whatever.
Yep.
I was like, is this shit for real? Just like, do I need to, go to church? Because I haven't been in like forever. So it just made such a huge impact. I mean, obviously great acting, I mean, the scenes you can talk about left and right with, with the visuals and everything. And, just that moment I want to recapture, because, obviously, some people hate being, scared for movies. Some people obviously love it. I love it. I wish I could recapture something like that watching that movie, or even if the feeling was unsettling, like I said before, I wish I could feel that again, because I don't think I've ever felt something like that in my life, let alone movies, but just the impression that movie left with me. So I'll leave it at that with The Exorcist.
That movie still haunts me. I don't think I've seen it since I saw it the first time, because
did you see it as a kid, Vinny? I can't remember how much.
Yeah, I saw it when I was younger. I just I still can vividly picture just the images from that movie, and I'd never want to watch that movie.
No,
again. I would never want to.
I would recommend because it's actually, other than it's a very well written movie and it was nominated for Academy Award for Best Picture. It's actually a really good quality movie, horror aside and everything. So if you can, I'd recommend it.
I don't think I could ever get myself to sit down and watch that movie again. Nope.
That's one that I've never seen, but I feel like I know the beats of it because of like what cultural
the
or whatever
phenomenon that it was.
I think you nailed it, Greg. Like I don't like scary movies in general, but like when it comes to like demonic stuff, possession. I remember I saw Paranormal Activity and I was fine seeing that. I was like, it's kind of silly. But I just remember laying in bed that night thinking, wow, there's a lot of stuff like this that's documented, whether or not it's been a hoax or not.
Yeah, whether or not where you stand on it. Yeah,
I'm sitting there in bed and I'm like, what's to stop that from happening to someone I know? Like, and it just like scared the shit out of me. Even I was an adult, I had my own home, and I was still freaking out after I saw it. So, oh man, that's yikes. Ugh.
Yeah, I would go back and take that feeling again though, because I've watched so many horror movies, and I'm just like, even though it was terrifying, it's like, man, that shock I had after it ended, I'm like, that was something. So
I'm gonna preface that with Justin, your wife saw that movie and was not scared by it. So just
that explains a lot of things, actually. Yeah.
I want to say she watched it alone in the basement at our house growing up in the dark. Wasn't scared by it.
You're talking to a woman who takes PTO the week of Halloween so she can watch all her scary movies. I mean, she's
did she
level.
Did Erica like it though? I mean,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I think she did. I think her words were what's scary about that. I can't. I don't know if I'm quoting her correctly, but I'm sure she'll write in and
she'll write in and correct you if you're wrong.
But it was. I think she came up after watching and was like, "What's so scary about that?" or something like that. Yeah. And she wasn't like. I think she might have been like 7th, 8th grade, maybe at the time.
Okay, well that's a little older than I was.
I'd still be scared of it as an adult. I want nothing to do with that.
I mean,
movie.
you're talking about a woman who the few horror video games I have, she'll be like, I'm gonna take a nap, pop in one of those zombie games, so I have a dream about zombies. I'm like, what? No, I'm not doing that. What is wrong with you? No,
so, that's great.
He's on another level.
That's amazing.
Yes. Vinny, you got any other ones that you would like to see again for the first time or inspiration?
Yeah, I guess something I would like to see, I kind of, when I was making up my list, I did, there's a couple that I was thinking of that were truly epic that I'd want to see again. But I was looking at more of kind of like the twist factor in the movies.
Yeah.
So the one I had is a horror movie. I guess you could consider that, but Shutter Island. I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
But I haven't watched it again, but I don't think it would have the same effect it had as I was watching that first time. After seeing it, spoiler alert, he's insane, and they're running a test on him, and trying to cure him. So, I thought that movie was great, and it was one of those things. If I were to watch it again, it just wouldn't even come close to living up to that first time.
That's a great one.
Still a good movie overall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I will admit, I'm not trying to, toot my own horn here or anything, but when I saw it for the first time in theaters, I was like, I bet, and that's to take nothing away from it because they play it so well for the twist right there. I'm like, because I do that. Like I try to stop myself from doing it, but I try to figure it out. I'm like, I wonder if like he's the patient here or whatever. Yep. Sure enough they did. I'm like, that was beautifully done. So I still appreciate it for what they did, because I think it was, like I said, I think it was just done great, and I think that's an amazing call.
Mark Ruffalo in that movie is awesome. I love him in that movie.
Oh yeah,
he does a great job. All right, I'll read a couple before I get to one of my ones I wish I could see for the first time again. The Cheap Seats podcast, they're a good group of guys from the East Coast. They wrote in and said Jurassic Park, which that's a good one. I remember being pretty young when I saw that, but I absolutely loved it. It had the Jurassic Park action figures as a kid. Our guys from the three spot, they said Pursuit of Happiness and Friday Night Lights, which I will admit I've seen the Friday Night Lights TV show, but I have never watched the movie. But I would imagine, especially if you're a football fan, the way that they set that up, I heard was pretty good. Let's see. We got Shayla from Sweet Time with Shayla and Chelsea. She said seeing Collateral again, which if I'm not mistaken, Collateral is the Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx movie.
Jamie
right?
Foxx, yeah. 04, I think it was.
She said she wishes she could watch that again for the first time just to hear Shadow of the Sun by Audio Slave start up as the coyote crosses in front of the car. I do love me some Audio Slave.
Slave.
I have never
That's a good
seen
call to
Collateral,
call
but
right
I've
there.
always heard good things about that one. And
I've never seen it either.
I feel like that's peak Tom Cruise starting to go crazy. So
if Shayla was listening, she'd be screaming at us right now.
Right now.
So
what is
because
wrong
she's big
with you?
on the movies. So
Andrew M, who I believe is also she Twitter follower of Shayla, also wrote in and said Collateral in the club scene. Vinnie, your cousin Mike, wrote in and said Top Gun, and that literally made him want to join the Navy, which he then went and did. So
Nice.
yeah, good for him. Thank you for your service, Mike. I saw Top Gun once, and I'll be honest, I feel like people older than us really enjoy that movie. I saw it once, and I was good. Like, man, it's all right.
It wasn't enough flying around for me when I saw it. Of course, I was like 7 or 8. I'm like, oh, that's all I wanted to see.
Yeah, I just want to see dogfighting in the jets, right?
Yeah,
I don't care about the love interest and all that stuff.
Did the new one ever come out?
It still hasn't come out.
It still hasn't come out yet. No, okay.
No. I know. Every time my dad stops by or I go up to Wisconsin to visit him, he's like, "So when's that Top Gun movie coming out?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm not the holder of Top Gun 2, right? But I will get back to you.
You're a big Tom Cruise fan, right?
Oh yeah. Melissa wrote in, said she one of her favorite movies that she wished she could see again loved Interview with the Vampire, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, and What Dreams May Come. Vampire, Interview with the Vampire I've not seen, but I've heard that's pretty creepy. Pulp Fiction is another one. I remember the first time I saw it, I was just like blown away. In high school, I'm like, you can do a movie like this where it's not even in order, you know? One of the ones that I think is my favorite that I wish I could go back and see again is The Matrix. I am a huge
nice.
That is probably one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I did not see it in theater because in '99 I think I was like 12, so I wouldn't have. I think because it's rated R, I think, right? Most likely, right? But I remember in 03, this is a stupid way to remember it, but I remember in 03, we were driving down to Florida. We had rented a beach house with some family friends, and my dad had set up in our truck like a portable DVD player to watch in the car to make the drive go faster. Yep. And one of our neighbors said, "Oh, Justin, here's a copy of The Matrix. You're big, sci-fi tech guy. You're going to love this movie. Just watch it." So I was like, all right, well, I have nothing better to do for the next 19 hours. So I watched the movie. I was like, oh my God. And I was like 16 at that time. So I was I thought I was Neo. And I remember I finished the movie, and this is the only time I've ever done this. I literally just went to replay and watch the entire movie again, back to back, 2 times in a row.
Nice.
I was stunned by how much I love that movie. And the sequels, I don't know. And then the new one, we'll see. I don't know. But
that's right. Yeah.
But oh my God, I remember I got really into trying to hack people's shit after that. I remember my sister had a boyfriend that wasn't being very nice, and I figured out how to change his profile, his passwords on all his profiles.
Oh my gosh,
that's amazing. Hacker Justin on the loose.
Yeah, there's a lot of movie podcasts. There's a lot of
Mr. Robot over there.
There's a lot of stuff coming out that you guys didn't know about me. But
geez, you got mail that inspired you to create websites. The Matrix inspired you to hack people, and Fast and Furious inspired you to soup your car up.
Thank you for bringing that up. But let me preface this. When I say hack, I'm not talking about stealing money from people's bank accounts. I'm talking about changing their AIM passwords, just because that was a big deal in high school. I got to get on AIM and update my away message. Anyway, no one's going to know what I'm doing online, So, yes, I guess since you brought up Fast and Furious, I saw that in 01. And I had just gotten my permit, I think, in 02. And then I bought my first car in 03, and I had my Ford Escort. Had a spoiler put on the back that didn't belong on a Ford Escort. I had the neon lights pulsing underneath and inside to the bass of the music.
There you go.
I had an exhaust tip that I put on the back of it, even though I didn't have an exhaust system because I didn't know anything about cars. But I had the tip that if you got real close enough, you could hear it humming.
You'd hear
and then the best aspect of this is I had the Escort in the family, so I had the best gas mileage. So when my mom would do her driving around town, she'd have to drive this car. She'd go to Jewel. to pick up groceries, but the exhaust tip always stuck out further than the bumper. So she literally branded herself. She had the biggest scar for the longest time, and it was like a Gatling gun exhaust tip. So it was all these holes imprinted on her
exhaust tip.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, that just got 10 times better.
And then I got to college, and I remember thinking, no girl is going to talk to me in college if I have all this stupid shit on my car. And like the day before I started college at St. Xavier, I ripped everything out of my car. So it was just a normal Ford Escort. So
college Justin growing up right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
My buddy Greg, he's like, I'm so glad I didn't know you in high school because I would not have talked to you at all. And Erica probably wouldn't have either for that matter. So
no, Erica's a big Fast and Furious fan.
She is a fan. That is something we bonded on. Like one of our first dates was to go see like the fourth
until she probably saw you driving. And you're like, she's like, well, you don't drive like anybody in that movie.
No, I don't. So you guys want to go around once more? I know it's getting late. You guys got work in the morning.
Yeah.
You want to go around one more time?
I got one more that I'll hit on quick. And like I said, sticking on the horror genre, I actually saw this movie for the first time the day before I saw The Exorcist for the first time. So I'm going to go, again, at a young age, I'm going to go with John Carpenter's Halloween. Oh, Michael Myers. And I say that in the spirit because Halloween Kills is coming out in a couple weeks. I'll talk about the scene specifically after the ending when Dr. Loomis, played by Bond villain Donald Pleasance, shoots Michael Myers 6 times, and then he goes to console Jamie Lee Curtis, who's crying over there in the corner. And right before that, you see the shot of Michael Myers dead on the ground right there. You're like, oh, they finally got him. And then he talks to Jamie Lee Curtis, walks over, looks over the balcony, and he's gone, and the Halloween music plays. I was like, shit, he's still out there. And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
I was like,
that breathing
is just the breathing. I'm like, that is a beautiful ending.
Why'd you do it, Michael? Why'd you do it?
And then it was just like, that was it. And I was like, well. And I almost wish, I mean, there were so many, obviously they kind of had a product right here that they could push out. Mm-hmm. I almost wish there were no, sequels.
That was it.
Which I kind of really like. That's why I kind of like the last Halloween that came out a couple years ago, the David Gordon Green one that kind of takes place 40 years later. And it was a good movie. But it kind of ignored the whole brother thing. It ignored Halloween 2, H2O, all that stuff. I'm like, that's how I kind of wish it was. Mm-hmm. This was the next movie, in the last, 40 years, because that ending was just so perfect. Like it didn't need to continue from there. So, and I think that's what John Carpenter was trying to capture. So it definitely worked on me because I saw that. I'm just like, and I go back and watch both those movies every year around Halloween, a couple times. And it just, it's one I'll always go back to, and another one that just made a huge impact. That scene, especially, I wish I could, because I kind of remember how I felt at that scene, just, that, so I kind of wish that was that, because I saw something like that again, that would shock me like that. So
yeah, it's a good pick. That's a very good pick. Vinny, what about you?
I'm gonna change it up here. I do have like a couple of other horror ones on my list, but I'm gonna go with Star Wars Rogue One.
Ooh.
That was an absolutely fantastic movie because I didn't know how they were going to tie that in to the rest of the Star Wars universe, and they tied it in perfectly, absolutely perfectly. It
was pristine.
New Hope. Yes, they couldn't have done it any better. It was absolutely perfect, and it was one of those things where, definitely that one. If I could go back and watch that as a first time, especially the Darth Vader scene.
Yes.
And of course, I would need Greg sitting next to me clapping.
To experience
losing his shit.
Yeah. So excited about that. That also probably also made that moment
for those
more memorable.
Yes, for those who don't know, I saw that once I saw the lights darken and I saw all the rebel soldiers turn around, and then I just lost it right there because I'm like, oh my god, it's happening right now. Then the lightsaber ignites. I was like, oh my god, they're all gonna die. It's gonna be amazing. It's a beautiful scene, and that was on my list, man. I'm like, that is an
That's
incredible.
a great
I
one.
wish I could go back and watch that scene again for the first time. Even watching the replay, I just get the biggest.
No,
gem
it's
written on my
not the
face.
same, and I think the
It's
fact
so
that
awesome.
it was the three of us all seeing that together.
Yes,
And then I remember the car ride
definitely.
home being like, oh my God, that was amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like
yep.
it was like pure bliss as a Star Wars fan.
I think too that was the after we saw that and we were talking about the ride home. I think that was the moment, whether you say this is good or bad, that I had less appreciation for the Force Awakens.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that was just more of like when we saw the Force Awakens, like, hey, Star Wars is back, and then we saw this where I'm like,
that doesn't hold
like
a candle.
that's like real Star Wars right there. That's they got it right.
That battle scene above I can't think of what's the name of the planet they're fighting over at the end. Scarif. Thank you. That battle scene over Scarif with the planetary shield generator is
amazing.
Like pure Star Wars.
Yep.
And I feel like now that whole trilogy has run its course, I think you take Rogue One and Mandalorian, and besides that, I just kind of want to pretend nothing else happened in terms of Star Wars. But that's just me.
Agree.
So, that's a good one, Vinny. That's a really good one. All right, I'm going to read the rest of these real quick so we don't leave anybody out. Glenn, former co-worker of mine, he's an awesome guy. He said, it's got to be the 1960 movie Magnificent Seven. Not only did it create superstar actors, Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, James Coburn, and Robert Vaughn, it's filled with classic lines, themes of good and evil, never giving up when outnumbered, helping the weak, value of family, sacrifice, and many more. It's based on Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. It's a life philosophy portrayed, as well as an intense character study of the male ego and male camaraderie. So he said, sorry, I got carried away. Yeah, he's
that's what we're looking for. Deep.
That was excellent. My buddy Greg also said every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie has impacted me. The guy's a hero. He manages to make action movies into comedies at the same time, and it's just fantastic.
That's a good shout.
I do love that.
Yeah.
Sean said, I can't think of something that's had an impact on me, but I wish I could experience The Departed or Reservoir Dogs again. My guilty pleasure movie is I have way too many, but I'm fond of Nothing But Trouble. I completely understand why people don't like it, but he loves everything about it. Lisa said she wishes she could experience the movie once again, which I got to admit, I have never seen once. I don't know if you guys have seen once.
Nope.
I might have to check that one out.
Haven't seen it even once.
Hey-o. Chris said the biggest impact on him was Pearl Harbor. It drew his interest into World War II and studying history. Also, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
That's amazing.
For the quite opposite reason mentioned above. He said he wishes he could experience Bear League again because it's just too damn funny not to experience for the first time.
Bear League. Oh, it's been a minute.
John wrote in and said Chocolat, and his true guilty pleasure is Sting. Marie wrote in and said Gone with the Wind. It led her to actually feel the impact of the Civil War and kind of be interested in social studies, in history, even though she's not a big history fan. Lynn wrote in and said The Sound of Music. It's a classic between the songs and the scenery. It's breathtaking.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vinny.
Love Julie Andrews and her magical voice. I'm not embarrassed to say I also still love Wizard of Oz. Loved it as a kid and still do. I will admit, Wizard of Oz and Grease are the two movies I think I hate the most in the entire world. I hate those movies.
Oh, you don't like Grease?
No, I hate Grease.
Yeah,
and
Grease
I hate
is such
Wizard of Oz.
that's a bad movie.
I think I like that.
those.
I think I like Grease as a kid, but I can't see myself liking it.
It's really bad if you watch it again. The car at the end of the movie flies.
It just flies away.
Yeah.
That's not how real. First of all, you don't know break out in song, and number two, they don't have flying cars in the 50s. So sorry.
Who had a carnival after their high school ended?
Yeah,
their year ended.
I got the hell out of there as soon as I could.
You know who wrote the music for that movie?
Who?
The Bee Gees.
Really?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Leanne wrote in and said another one she wishes she could experience for the first time is Dirty Grandpa. We watched that with her brother-in-law, sister, and children, which I can't even imagine.
So that
room.
Nothing like recapturing that moment again.
And then my mom, so sweet of her, she wrote in. She said the movies that impacted her the most were the ones that she realizes how much she's changed as you become an adult. Home Alone reminds her of the holidays and being with the family. Toy Story, Mrs. Doubtfire, Aladdin, and Mighty Ducks also were movies that she remembers taking me and my sister to see as kids, which I also remember going to Chicago Ridge Theater. She saw Frozen with her granddaughter, my niece Morgan, which was really important to her. And then lastly, she said another movie she loves to this day is School of Rock because she saw that when I was first learning how to play the drums. So she's got that memory.
Look at all this
Look at that.
Yeah, so thank you, Mom. Thank you for writing in. I can't really think of any others. Return of the Jedi is one, just because I remember that was the first Star Wars movie I saw as a kid and wanting to learn more. I think I've talked about my love for Mighty Ducks and how that got me into hockey. But other than that, I know as soon as we stop recording, I'm going to think of one, and I'm going to be pissed that I forgot
think of
it.
like 5 more.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to revisit this at some point. But yeah, good times, guys. Thank you for coming on. Sorry, Greg, I just realized I stole the hosting duties back halfway through.
No,
this.
they're all yours. I am not good at it.
No.
Yeah.
Vinny, you got any parting words before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put out this little nugget there. Since we're talking about Derek Lee doing the 7th inning stretch the day after Connor McFart was out there. Derek Lee is one of 2 players in MLB history to have 100 plus runs, 199 plus hits, 45 plus home runs, 99 plus extra base hits, and 50 plus doubles. Wow. Who is that other player?
Miguel
besides
Cabrera?
Derek Lee? No, go older.
Barry
Tommy? There's a disease named after him.
Lou Gehrig.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
moly.
That was Derek Lee's 2005 season.
That 05 season, I remember he was insane that season.
How could you not root for that guy?
And then the Cubs kind of petered out, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that was he was such a good guy.
Derek Lee fan. I love Derek Lee.
I'm glad they kind of brought him back in recently. I hope he does more. Granted, I don't know where he lives now, but it would be great to see him more at Wrigley or just with the Cubs in general, you know, doing streaming stuff. I don't know, anything like that. So that's a good find, Vinny. Very good. Greg, awesome. What about you?
No, nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed the whatever section tonight. I know I did.
Yeah.
It was nice to finally get that out and kind of talk about those moments again. And thank you for everyone who wrote in. That was I didn't really know how that was going to go over, but hopefully that got some people
keep
back
writing in please
their movies again. Yes, please, anything. We love hearing from you, and everything you guys write is fantastic. So thank you again.
Definitely. Trying to think if you are into our baseball stuff. I believe sometime this weekend or possibly next week, the 3 Spot will get up our podcast that Greg and I
tomorrow.
Okay. Greg and I were lucky enough to join them. They asked us to come on, and we ranked minor league single A logos, and we had a little draft. So we're going to be asking people to vote. And if you would like to vote for us, we win bragging rights with those guys. So some good minor league teams in there. A lot of cool stuff about how certain logos, how teams were named and why they were named it. I believe, Greg, do you remember his name from Sports Logos?
That'd be Paul, and you can follow him at Baseball and Ice Cream, I believe it is. Or that's the name of his.
That's his Twitter account.
Twitter account. Yeah.
So give him a check. He's from Sports Logos. He's written a bunch of great stuff from them. But he kind of gave us some background on different organizations. One in particular I thought was really cool is we dive into the Spokane Indians, which they actually the amount of work they do with the tribe out in Spokane, Washington is incredible. And it was amazing. It's a perfect example of if the tribes nearby want those names still used, this is the way to do it. They have one of their uniforms actually has Indians in their native language, which they're the only ones who have ever done that before. And they do. I think some of their apparel, every sale of certain apparel with that on it goes back to the tribe. So
nice.
Pro teams need to take that into account if they're going to keep the Native American imagery and names.
It's really well done. That was
really well done.
I'm so happy he shared that story.
Yeah, that was a great story.
Cool.
Yeah.
So check that out.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. We got some other stuff, maybe some big stuff in the works to maybe grow our brand a little bit. So stay tuned in that regard. And we will be back next week with more hijinks and hilarity. I'm shriveling, Sue. Thank you.
That.
Yeah. I say. But before we wrap up, if you want to get a hold of us, remember Twitter, baseball and what's, email baseball and whatever at gmail.com and facebook.com/baseball and whatever. We will see you next week. Take care, guys, and have a great weekend.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.